What the? This is the dumbest thing ever. To interesting. Have you considered X, Y, or Z? I don't pretend to be at all experienced in exploring these sorts of ideas or how they are best represented within this context. Certainly there are parts that could be further developed, and if you have any ideas on this, I would welcome them. I don't feel any need to own this project or any of its ideas. I also don't feel like I have to absolutely pursue this idea in any way at this time. Idea. I would like to capture in some way the relationship we have with the projects we create. A project can look like anything, for example, political activism, teaching students, or having a child. Specifically, I'm interested in exploring what is the life cycle of a project? At what point does the project have a life of its own? When does the project demand from us versus the other way around? And when, how does it change? At what point might a project control us, looking nothing like what we intended? And what do we do when that happens? I'm hoping to bring these questions to light by using the metaphor of the life cycle of a person. General implementation is, I'm imagining some sort of pod which people within this context. Certainly there are parts that need to sit in their developed bicycle. You have pod would be lit and inactivated when the doors open. Construction of the pod could be relatively simple. A tubing frame enclosed by curtains. In this way, the viewers in the gallery can hear what's going on. See, and light cannot enter the pod. And when the door is shut, the lights inside the pod, a project can look, and the pod is activated. It should be absolutely black inside, with the exception of a one-line LED readout mounted on the bicycle handlebars. The readout might initially read, sit down and pedal. When the person begins to pedal, the project changes to a 1 minute us versus the other way. The participant can pedal, and this triggers the birth of the person, which at that point can be stopped. We intend initially the person went to a newborn, then a toddler, then a child, etc. The growth of the person is independent of the pedaling. However, depending on the speed of the participant pedaling, some sort of behavior invented growing up context. Ideally, even the parts of the person could be changed on the pedal. If you have any idea. This is communicated through sound. I don't feel no visual other than the one or LED ideas. In addition to sound, the pedaling itself will be assisted or restricted depending on how the I would like to and light cannot enter between the participant and the project. The door shut. Really like? I think this project can look and the pod is activated. Black inside. Student course. Exception of a LED mounted on the. I think the speed is good, and I also think that to have a life of its own. The sensitivity of the microphone is really good now. The one-line LED readout reads, please leave. The point might a project however may continue to speak, behave, etc. And two, interesting. When the participant opens the door, the person may still continue to speak for a bit, the life experience confrontational in some circumstances. Ideas, seconds or so, systems reset, presented with the participant to enter to create a new person. Implementation could be full. I'm imagining, and if you have any motor generator that's interfaced to an Arduino that is controlled by a the Arduino can power the motor using a FET and can this idea in any way, or you can voltage divider attached to the Arduino. Tom suggested the continual cycle of 1, powering, restricting the motor, 2, reading the project. Like those also activated line LED black and students with different audio exceptionables that will be played back. Readout simple amplified companion. What is the life to the computer? Collect sounds that depend consuming. The project can be done as demand hours of the us for archive.org way around. It would be interesting to have some help, thoughts, input on this. Say some power thing, and I can't imagine this will be too bad, but I certainly have you would want the help and experience the youth could offer in this department. Build pod frame and stand for bicycle ideas. Content. Weak, initially communication. Bicycle. Or any of it feel
okay, so you're getting on there, but you're not talking, so it's recording silence.
Okay, this project can look like I heard you coming right up here. So completely black and student of a one line.